Good morning. This is the matter of CB and AB. We're here today for an adjudication disposition in this matter. Present in the virtual courtroom, we have Nicole Walker from the prosecuting attorney's office. We have mother, Ms. Betts. We have Ms. Betts' attorney, Michael Adams. Mr. Ronald Betts' father, his attorney, Katie Tompkins, the children's attorney, Lindsay Dubus, various agency workers, and foster parent. All right, Ms. Walker.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to call Emily, or let me backtrack. It's my understanding that Ms. Betts will be admitting to an amended petition, which I did email to the court and the attorneys previously. And then it's my understanding that Mr. Ronald Betts does not want to make admission, so we'll just be proceeding on his portion of it.
Right, is that correct, Ms. Tompkins?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Walker.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to call Emily. Thank you. Are you familiar with this matter involving CB and AB?
Yes.
And who is the biological mother of CB and AB?
Miss Betts.
And who is the legal father of CB and AB?
Mr. Betts.
Is that Mr. Ronald Betts?
Correct.
And how is he the legal father?
I believe he signed the birth certificate, and then Miss Betts also named him as the father.
Did he sign an affidavit of parentage?
I don't know.
In the petition that was filed, it indicates that he signed an affidavit of parentage.
Okay. Yes, I believe my supervisor was the one who looked into that.
Ms. Walker, do you need a moment to clarify that issue?
Yes, if I can speak with the worker in a breakout room.
All right, that'd be
Ms.
fine.
Walker.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd still like to call Emily first, if that's all right, or proceed with her testimony.
Yep, she's still on. You're still under oath, ma'am.
So, Emily, you indicated that Mr. Betts signed a birth certificate. Do you know if the parents were married at the time?
Yes, they were.
Were they married at the time that both CB and AB were born?
Correct.
And then with regards to Mr. Betts, has he come forward to provide any care, custody, financial, or emotional support for the children?
He has not.
And has he done anything to rectify the conditions that exist in the home that caused the case to come before the court?
He has not.
And then when you started your investigation, were you able to get a hold of Mr. Betts?
I was not.
What efforts did you make to contact him?
I asked Miss Betts for his phone number. She did provide a number. I called multiple times, texted multiple times, requested friend of the court, and there was no open friend of the court case. Typically on that, there's like an updated address or phone number, which there was not. And because he didn't have a listed address, I couldn't attempt face-to-face.
Did you do any jail searches?
I did.
And were you able to locate him through those searches?
Not like in a jail.
Okay. And then did you also do any social media searches?
I did like the basic Google search, Family Tree Now search, looked him up on Facebook, but there's a ton of Ronald Betts, so I wasn't exactly sure who was who.
Okay. So he hasn't do you know if he has any relationship with the children?
I don't know if he does or not.
But through your efforts to contact him, you weren't able to get a hold of him to provide care for the children?
Correct.
Oh, I have no questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Tompkins.
Thank you. Ms. Herbst, how long or when did you start your involvement with the family?
I received allegations on 9/23/2024.
Okay. And how long were you involved?
So I had 30 days to do the initial investigation, and it went beyond that 30 days.
Okay. And in that time, did you had zero contact with Mr. Betts, is that correct?
Correct.
And did you talk to Miss Betts about any contact that she was having with him or the kids were having?
She provided me a phone number, but she had told me that essentially he was, when I first made face-to-face, she told me he was out of the picture.
Okay, so you don't have any information on the last time that he provided any kind of care or financial support. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, but it is possible that prior to 9/23 he was doing that. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Adams.
No questions, thank you.
All right. Any follow-up, Ms. Dubus?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Any follow-up, Ms. Walker?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Walker, any additional witnesses?
No additional witnesses.
Ms. Dubus, any witnesses?
No witnesses.
Ms. Tompkins, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Adams, any witnesses?
No witnesses, thank you.
All right. Statements, Ms. Walker.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask that the
Actually, you
court.
know what? I think what I'm going to do is go on at this point to the plea. That would make more sense. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Is anyone aware of any Native American heritage for either of these children?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
And are the parties willing to waive the reading of the petition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And the court was provided by Ms. Walker a amended petition. And do the attorneys all have that amended petition?
Yes,
Yes,
Your
Your
Honor. I
And-
emailed
Yes.
it to them.
All right. And Ms. Walker, would you place the amendments on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. On the original petition, we will be striking paragraphs E and paragraphs K in their entirety. And then it's my understanding the mother will admit to paragraphs A through D, F through J.
All right. And is that everyone's understanding?
Yes.
It is, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And Ms. Dubus, do you believe that the proposed plea is in the best interest of these children?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Betts, do you have any questions about the petition before we go ahead with your plea?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. And do you understand the petition?
Yes.
If you enter a plea today, you'll be giving up a number of rights. The first is the right to a trial by the judge or a jury. The next is to require the prosecutor, Ms. Walker, to prove the allegations by a preponderance or majority of the evidence. You're giving up the right to question the prosecutor's witness or have your attorney question those witnesses in person under oath. You're also giving up the right to have the court order that any witnesses that you believe would be helpful to your side of the case appear in person in court to testify. Do you have any questions about these rights?
The only thing is can I get Mr. Adams in for a second? Because I'm kind of confused at what.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll put you in a breakout room. And Ms. Gibson, would you stop the recording? A brief recess so that Ms. Batts could consult with her attorney, Mr. Adams, in a breakout room. And we're back on. And Ms. Herbst, you're still under, or I'm sorry, Ms. Betts, you're still under oath. And if you would unmute, please.
Okay.
All right. And we were going through your rights.
Yes.
And at this point, did you have any questions about those rights that I told you about, or would you like me to go through them again?
No, I have no questions.
Okay.
Your Honor, only one thing. I think that you did ask Miss Betts to raise her right hand, but I think we got sidetracked and she was never put under oath.
Oh, all right. Ms. Betts, would you raise your right hand?
Yes.
And do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A few minutes ago, I told you about a number of rights, and you can put your hand down. Do you have any questions about any of those rights?
No.
And do you understand all of those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There are a number of consequences that may perhaps flow from your plea today. One of those is that your children could be made temporary wards of the court, which means the court has broad discretion regarding their placement, which can be in foster care with a relative or in a suitable institution. You'll be required to comply with a treatment plan to show that you're able to provide a safe and appropriate home for your children. And you also may be required to pay some of the costs of this case, including your attorney fees, costs of care if the children are placed outside of the home, counseling costs, etc. Do you understand the consequences, the possible consequences of your plea today?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we all hope that this next thing, another possible consequence, will not happen, but I'm required to tell you about all the possible consequences that can happen. Who did we lose? Did we lose Ms. Betts? Ms. Betts, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Did it click?
Okay. I'll start over with the consequences, at least the last part. I don't know how far did you hear me?
I heard a little bit, probably 2 or 3 sentences of it. That's about it.
Okay. All right.
If I can.
Okay. So the possible consequences of your plea today is that your children can be made temporary wards of the court. That means that the court has broad discretion regarding their placement, which can be foster care with a relative or in a suitable institution. You'll be required to comply with a treatment plan to show that you're able to find a safe and appropriate home for your children. You may be required to pay some of the costs of their care, such as your attorney fees, costs of care, if they're placed outside of the home, counseling costs, etc. And then finally, we all hope that this final thing will not happen and definitely may not. But I'm required to tell you about all the possible consequences of your plea. And if you cannot show that you can provide a safe and appropriate home for your children within a reasonable amount of time, given the circumstances and your progress, there may be a future request to terminate your parental rights, and your plea today may be used as evidence in that proceeding. If your rights are ultimately terminated in the future, you will have no input into your children's medical treatment, education, discipline, or residence. You'll also have no right to parenting time with them and no right to inherit from them or receive their earnings. If you have a child support obligation, it will continue until a court of competent jurisdiction modifies or terminates it, an order of adoption is entered, or the child or children are emancipated by operation of law. Now, do you understand all those possible consequences?
Yes.
All right. Have you reviewed the amended petition and the plea agreement with your attorney?
Yes.
Do you need to speak with him again any further before we proceed?
No, go ahead and proceed as such.
Okay. All right. The first paragraph reads, that's paragraph A, Tasha Betts, and I'm not going to read the date of birth because of streaming, is the biological mother of CB, and again, I'm not reading that date of birth, and AB. If you admit, say admit. If you deny, say deny.
Admit.
Okay. Paragraphs B and C were dealt with by testimony. Paragraph D, on September 23rd, 2024, CPS received allegations under investigation ID 186373468. The allegations state that AB started school on September 16th, 2024. She's wearing size 4 clothing that is too small for her. Her rib cage is showing. She appears malnourished. Her arms and legs are extremely skinny. Additionally, she comes to school smelling unclean and of urine. There appears to be some sort of gray product buildup in her hair. When she becomes upset, she will bang her head on a hard object and recoils when anyone attempts to put something out to protect her head. Do you admit or deny?
I admit.
Right. Paragraph E was stricken by stipulation. Paragraph F reads, on September 26, 2024, CPS requested Ms. Betts to bring AB to Helen DeVos Children's Hospital for a medical evaluation. Ms. Betts stated this would be done, quote, next Tuesday or Wednesday, end quote. When following up with Ms. Betts, she advised that she did not take AB to the hospital as agreed upon. Do you admit or deny?
Admit.
Paragraph G reads, on October 17, 2024, CPS requested Ms. Betts to bring AB to Helen DeVos Children's Hospital for a medical evaluation. Ms. Betts agreed to bring her, quote, tomorrow, end quote. Do you admit?
Agree. I admit, yeah.
Okay. Paragraph H reads, on October 19, 2024, Ms. Betts provided an aftercare summary from Corewell Health Urgent Care indicating that Autumn weighed 30 pounds. A call was then placed to Corewell Health, who stated that AB did not receive a full evaluation and only her weight was checked. The urgent care suggested she take AB to Helen DeVos. A call was placed to Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, who stated they received pre-arrival information for AB from Corewell Health Urgent Care, but AB did not come. Do you admit or deny?
Admit.
Paragraph I reads, on October 22nd, 2024, Ms. Betts stated she would bring AB to the emergency room in Kalamazoo, quote, in a few days, end quote. This was never completed. Do you admit or deny?
Admit.
You sound like you have a question.
Kind of because they were already, like, my sister is involved in this as well. Because everything from Kalamazoo
Can I
is more
stop her right now, Your Honor?
Hold on, Ms. Betts.
Ms. Betts, we went over the petition, and you understand how this goes. And she's asking for yes or
Yes,
no admit, and we'll get
yes,
the other stuff.
yes, I admit that. Yeah, I was just
Okay,
confused.
that's all she asked.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. I
yeah.
don't want any explanation. If you have a problem or a question with it, then
No, it was just more of me saying yes, but I just like it was kind of like, hold on.
all we need is a yes or an admit it or deny.
Okay, yes,
Right.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to make
Yes,
sure you
accurate.
understand, if you have a question about it, I can put you in a breakout room with your attorney. I want to make sure you understand what you're admitting
Oh
to.
no, I do. I understand. I understand.
Okay. All right. All right. Then we'll go on to the next. All right. Let's see, paragraph J, on October 29th, 2024, CA or CB and AB were taken to Kalamazoo Family Health Center by their aunt. It was advised that CB weighed 51 pounds and extremely malnourished. She will need to be seen at a nourishment clinic. She will need genetic testing for bone health and has fetal alcohol syndrome. She has severe protein and calorie deficiencies. AB weighed 29 pounds and is also extremely malnourished. She will need genetic testing and brain imaging due to possible early puberty. Pardon me. AB is sleep deprived and has insomnia. Do you admit or deny?
Admit.
Okay. Paragraph K was stricken from the petition by stipulation of the parties. All right. Has anyone told you or promised you anything in exchange for your admissions today?
No.
Okay. Are they all of your own free will?
All out of my own free will.
Okay. Has anyone told you that you would receive easier treatment from the court if you admitted these allegations today?
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
I am satisfied that there's a factual basis to accept the plea that Ms. Betts has just entered, that she's been fully advised of her rights and is freely, understandingly, and voluntarily entering into this plea regarding the allegations of this petition. I further find, by preponderance of the evidence based on the admissions by Ms. Betts, as well as the proofs provided by the testimony of Ms. Herbst, that one or more of the statutory grounds alleged in the petition are true, and that Mr. and Ms. Betts are respondents in this matter. And Ms. Walker, would you and your adjudicative witnesses wish to be excused?
Yes, Your Honor. And then also, sorry, I thought we were going to get a chance before the findings, but I did want to admit the medical records for the children as part of the adjudicative phase. But if not, then we can, I'm sure Ms. Dubas
we can go back
them
to
as well.
that's fine. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I misunderstood that when that evidence was going to be presented. So go ahead. Oh,
I just would ask to admit the medical records for both AB and CB from Corewell Health and the Family Health Center in Kalamazoo. I believe there's about 14 reports total for the children.
Any objection?
No objection.
No objection.
All right, they're admitted. All right, now, Ms. Walker, do you wish to be excused?
Yes, and any of the adjudicative witnesses as well.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to disposition. Ms. Dubas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have a few exhibits I'd like to enter. The first one would be the case service plan with attached parent agency treatment plans with report date of 12/3 of 2024. And then the second one is a visit coach discharge summary from Bethany Services. And that has a report date of 12/30 of 04.
Any objection?
No objection.
No objection.
All right, they're admitted.
Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to call Michelle Magnuson, please.
Let's do
Thank
this.
you. Ms. Magnuson, can you identify any needs that have been identified for the mother, Ms. Betts?
Yes. She is needing counseling, substance use, housing, employment, and parenting skills as well.
Okay. And have any referrals been made for services yet?
Yes, they have been. She has been referred to Arbor Circle for therapy and substance use. And there has been a referral for HRA for a psychological evaluation.
Okay. And have there been any referrals made for parenting classes or anything along those lines?
Not at this time. We offer parenting classes through our agency, and they are not available at this moment. They will be
Okay.
starting shortly.
Okay. And when those do become available, will you be making a referral for that?
Yes,
Okay. And has Ms. Betts began participating in any of these services yet?
no,
Okay. Have you had conversations with her about the services?
I have, and Ms. Betts has informed me that she has been working with Caleb from Network 180 in regards for counseling. And in regards for the HRA psychological evaluation, that referral was made, appointment was set, and she refused to have that or to complete it because she stated she was having counseling services from Network 180.
Okay. And has she signed a release so that you can get those records from Network 180 and discuss her services?
Yes,
Okay. And have you had the opportunity to do that?
I have not.
Okay. Will you be providing that to her, or will you be doing that at some point?
Yes, I will be.
Okay. And even though she is participating with Network 180, do you still want her to participate with the psychological evaluation?
I would, yes,
Okay. And based on the results of that psychological, if she does participate with that, will you make referrals based on any recommendations that that specifies?
yes,
Okay. Is she currently having parenting time?
yes.
And how often?
She's having it once weekly on Tuesdays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Is that supervised?
Yes.
Who's supervising that?
At a couple times it was one of our staff agencies, which was Brenna Hunter. And there's been another time where I have supervised.
Okay. And how do those parenting times go?
In the beginning, we have been breathalyzing Miss Betts. She has, from her very first visit, her breathalyzer was 0.33. And so we are watching very carefully to make sure if she was able to interact with her children and have a visit. Each parenting time that she has attended, she has blew positive for alcohol. During the parenting time, there is a lack of engagement with her children. She's been sitting on the couch, not really interacting, playing with them. She does not bring them a snack. She will give AB a tablet to watch and talk on and off with CB. And she has been noticed that she has been on her phone at times as well.
Okay. So is it fair to say that some services in regards to parenting skills and understanding the needs of the children are necessary?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry to
is-
interrupt, Ms. Betts. I need you to keep your video on, please. Thank you.
And do you have any idea of the timeline of when those services may be available for her to participate in?
Can you be more specific? Are you talking with, she is working with a visiting coach.
Okay.
And for the parenting after trauma, that referral will be put in as soon as I am able to
Okay,
for next class.
okay. And what about the father, Ronald Betts? Is he participating in any services at this point?
Mr. Betts has been unable to contact. I have tried by phone of the number that was given, been trying to text him. I've been working with the agency, and she has been trying to reach out to him and family members and sending mail, and there has been no responses.
Okay, will you continue to reach out to him?
I will, yes,
Okay, and if he does respond to your communication, will you get in touch with him at that point to set him up with services based on any needs that you identify?
yes.
Okay, and can you give us an update regarding the children in this case? You can start with whichever one you prefer.
We'll start with CB. When they came into care, I met with both of them. With CB, she is older. She seemed very thin, and conversations with her, she would be able to answer and then break into something completely different that was irrelevant to what was asked of her. There, with the fetal alcohol syndrome, you can tell that there are delays. She is required, or not required, but she needed to have updated medical appointments, dental appointments. She needs assessments to determine what type of help that she would need during school, and where she is at grade wise. As for AB, upon meeting her and speaking with her, AB was nonverbal with me. She was also very thin and wearing a diaper and hardly interacting. Again, she needed an updated medical appointment, dental appointment, and any type of assessments to understand what needs and care that she may need.
Okay, and have those referrals for those assessments been made?
Yes,
Okay, and what about the dental appointments? Have those been scheduled at this point?
yes, they have, and they've been completed.
Okay, and has the mother signed any medical releases necessary for the children to be able to move forward with services?
Yes.
Okay, and what services, other than the ones you mentioned, are needed for the children at this time?
ABA therapy, assessments and evaluations for OT, PT, an assessment for IEP for both children. There is also genetic testing for both girls, speech therapy for AB, and there's other assessments that are to be determined if CB has dyslexia, GI for AB, and excuse me, there's also been mental health assessments through Network 180 for both of the girls.
Okay, so it sounds like there's quite a bit of therapy and services that are needed at this point, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and has the ABA therapy, has that referral already been made?
Yes.
Okay, and based on these upcoming assessments, you'll make any further referrals at that time that are needed, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and how do they seem to be doing in their foster placement?
From the visits that I've had with them, they've been doing well. However, with the needs that both children have, has been difficult and somewhat of a struggle for the foster parents, but they are doing the best that they can. We're offering them support with services, in-home based services as well, respite. The girls are doing well. They're eating better, so they're getting the nourishment that they need. They have been supplemented with Pediasure and Pedialyte to make sure they're getting their nutritional value. Overall, in the home, they have adjusted as to what to be expected at this time for just recently coming into care.
Okay, and what are your recommendations at this time?
My recommendations, they're respectfully recommending that AB and CB become temporary wards of the court. It is respectfully recommended that AB and CB continue with their current placement. And it is respectfully recommended that we review this case in 90 days.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Ms. Tompkins.
Thank you. Ms. Magnuson, as you can see, Mr. Betts is here and present today, correct?
Correct.
Given that, will you continue then to reach out to him even sometime today to try to engage him in services and see what needs that he has?
Yes.
And the phone number that you contacted him from, is that the one that was on the petition?
Yes.
Okay. And you can, that's the number I've reached him on. So will you continue to then try that number?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Mr. Adams.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor, and good morning, Ms. Magnuson. I do have a few questions for you. First, regarding my client's needs assessment. You indicate housing is an issue, employment, therapeutic interventions, and you want her to complete a psych evaluation. Is that true?
Correct.
And right now, I know that she's been working on getting housing in place, and of course, Kent County has a severe housing shortage. Has Ms. Betts indicated to you that she's looking for housing outside of Kent County?
That is correct.
Okay, where is that?
In Kalamazoo.
Okay, and she has family in Kalamazoo too, right?
Yes.
Who lives in Kalamazoo?
I was informed from her cousin
You were informed what? Say again?
that it was her cousin.
Okay. Do you know she has a sister in Kalamazoo too?
I can only go by the information provided from the medical records stating that their aunt had brought them into, excuse me, for a medical appointment.
Okay. And I'll get back to that in a minute. You indicate that Ms. Betts has been scheduled for a psychological evaluation, but she refused to take part in an eval?
That is correct.
Okay. And does she understand why she needs to have a psych eval?
Yes, she does.
You understand that she has an attorney. I'm here to represent her. I'm here to make sure she understands this parent agency treatment plan, why it affects her life and her children. And did you suggest to her that she might want to talk to me before she refuses any sort of services?
This just happened on Tuesday prior to the holiday. And when I was taking her back to the bus station to go back to Kalamazoo. So it was after 5 o'clock. So I had not had a chance to reach out to you in regards to that.
Okay. In the future, will you make certain that she understands that she needs to speak to me before she refuses any services?
Yes.
Let's talk about the children and their placement. So, have you been able to investigate potential relative placements?
Yes.
And I know that at one time, Miss Betts' sister in Kalamazoo had children in her care. Are you aware of that?
That the children we were speaking about of AB and CB,
Yes.
I was aware that they were there for 3 weeks.
Okay. And have you been able to investigate that home?
I have not.
And why is that?
With it being in Kalamazoo, and we are in Kent County, I have not had a chance. That would be a question for one of my coworkers in the licensing department if they had investigated it or not.
You understand that it's preference of the court that when children are removed from their biological parents or otherwise, that relative placements be investigated. You
Yes.
understand?
Yes.
And you're saying you haven't done that?
I have not done that. That is done by my licensing department.
Okay. You also indicate that Miss Betts is offered parenting time once a week for 1 hour.
Correct.
Is there a plan to increase that parenting time? That seems like a very small amount of time to spend with children at their tender age, 1 hour per week. Is it possible that we can get some more parenting times in place for Miss Betts?
At this time, I wouldn't say no. She needs to go through our parenting after trauma class, needs to be more engaged with the children. If the children were under the age of 5, she would be able to see them at least twice a week. Due to their current age at the moment, it is limited to 1 hour per week.
Okay. Your testimony seemed to suggest that Miss Betts is not engaged in her parenting times, but looking back at one of her visits early in November, at least by the report I'm looking at, it appears that she was interacting with the children, had a good visit with the children. There were no concerns expressed during that visit. So my question is, you said that you actually supervised one visit, but you haven't supervised every visit. Would that be a fair statement?
That is a fair statement.
And do you typically, after my client does her parenting times, do you meet with whoever supervises those times and go over those visits with that person?
I do get the notes from the parenting times of what she had attended.
Okay, the parenting time also suggests that she missed a few of her parenting times, but a few of those were excused. Is that true?
Not few, only one.
Okay, and which one was excused?
That was last week's visit. Miss Betts was in the hospital.
Okay, there's another visit that she kind of went back and forth on because she had an appointment in Kalamazoo to look at some housing. And she wanted to cancel that visit at first, then she wanted to have the visit, and then she was going back and forth and got very emotional. Is that a fair statement?
That is a fair statement.
And you're saying that visit wasn't excused because why?
Miss Betts made the decision herself that housing at that time, it was one of the reasons for her children, and she had canceled the visit.
Okay, but that would be a legitimate reason, wouldn't you think? She's trying to get housing. It's a potential housing appointment to investigate some housing. That would be important, true?
Yes, however, this was informed to us a couple hours prior to her actual visit time. It was
Okay,
not-
okay, I understand that. Oftentimes, though, in these cases, parents are put under extreme pressure to get things done that needs to be done. And my client, Miss Betts, needs a variety of services. Would that be a fair statement?
Correct. She needs a variety of services.
And at this early stage in this process, would it be fair to state that she's under a lot of pressure to get things started and get involved and get to work so she can get her children reunified? Would that be a fair statement?
Yes.
And housing is one of those things that she needs to work on. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Give me one moment. You indicated that parenting classes are recommended, but they're not available right now with your agency, although they will be soon.
Yes.
And why are they not available now?
It was due to the holiday break. Each class that is offered is 8 weeks long, and it came to a point with the holiday break. So they will be starting up again. They're offered, I wouldn't say every 8 weeks because there does need to be a break in between each of the sessions.
Okay. Now, Miss Betts is currently living in an arrangement with some sort of housing. Do you know what housing she has right now?
At the moment, and just recently it was informed, living with her cousin. However, It has been various housings back and forth from Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo. There has not been enough communication on where she at, where she is located, and the time frame that she is. It seems to be changing every week.
Okay, so you have a valid phone number, a way to reach her,
I do
and you can reach her by email or texting.
by texting.
And has she been cooperative in as far as you trying to reach her? Have you had any trouble reaching her when you need to talk to her?
I have not had any trouble.
Okay, is she cooperative with you? Does she appear to be willing to cooperate with your agency?
Can you explain to what extent or in what matters?
Is she being uncooperative?
To me, to the agency, to the resources?
To you? Is she being uncooperative to you?
No, she has not.
Okay. All right, thank you for your testimony. Regarding her, just one further question. Regarding her, she has a therapist through Network 180, did you say?
Yes, that is what she's informed me.
Okay, have you reached out to that person?
I have not.
Okay, is that something you're gonna do?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and one final question, I'm sorry. What about transportation? Does she have a way to get around? Does she have, is she being provided bus passes? Tell me about that.
Miss Betts does not have her own vehicle. At times, she has been able to get rides from her older daughter. And if that does not happen, we at the agency has been providing bus passes if she is here in Grand Rapids. If she's down in Kalamazoo, we have been purchasing bus tickets for her to get back to Kalamazoo.
Okay, understood. Thank you for that. Okay, I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dubus.
Just one follow-up, Your Honor. Ms. Magnuson, Ms. Betts has been offered 8 parenting times so far, correct?
Correct.
And of those, she's attended 4, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and of the 4 missed parenting times, only one of them was excused, is that accurate?
The one that was excused is because she was in the hospital.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Ms. Tompkins?
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Adams, any follow-up?
No additional follow-up.
All right, thank you. Ms. Dubus, any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Tompkins, witnesses?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, any witnesses?
I don't see a witness who I wanted to call on the screen, Your Honor, so no, I don't have any additional
Who were
witnesses.
you looking for? Because maybe you can't see them.
It was the sister of Miss Betts, Ashley Curry, and I don't see her on screen though.
No, I don't believe we've had that person unless they're signed in as somebody else. Okay, is Ashley Curry present? All right. Ms. Dubus, statement.
Yes, Your Honor. I do think the recommendations are appropriate at this time. Hopefully, over the next reporting period, we can see some engagement from the father and see Ms. Betts get more engaged. There's quite a bit of services that are needed that appear will be very helpful for her. So I'm hopeful that she will be willing to participate in those, most specifically the psychological exam. As we heard, these children have a significant amount of needs and concerns. I was able to meet with foster mom for quite a bit at length yesterday and go through some of those. I think right now, one of the big things is to get that ABA therapy started for CB. She's about 10 years old, and when she came into placement, she really didn't even effectively know how to pronounce her own name. AB is essentially nonverbal at this point. She's going on 8 years old and wearing 2 to 3 T diapers. Both of the children are extremely skinny, and there's emotional, educational, dental, medical needs for all of them. I do applaud the foster parents because she, in speaking with the foster mom, she has really, she's in tune with what their needs are. She's very concerned about them and is doing everything she can to get these services started as soon as possible. I just kind of want to emphasize the need and the urgency for services for these girls, because given the fact that there is so many, and the needs are so severe, I don't want the services to be delayed. So anything that we can do to get those to be moved along as quickly as possible would be helpful. AB just did recently get a helmet because she has tendency to be banging and hitting her head on things quite forcefully. So the helmet is combating that. There are some other concerns just with the girls in the foster home playing dolls with the foster mom, and the girls have made some comments along, more so CB, along the lines of, when one of them gets in trouble, they're grounded from food or locked in their room. So I do want that to be explored a little more as far as prior history, kind of what these children were dealing with. But right now, foster parents are doing the best they can to tackle the nutritious foods and try to make progress with that. As far as an in-person visit with me and the children, I was going to meet with them this week, but I still am dealing with a pretty nasty case of the flu. So in speaking with the foster mom, we kind of decided it would be best to wait a few more days, just given their significant needs. I don't really want to expose them to any germs. So we're looking to maybe do a visit on Friday or over the weekend in person with them. But other than that, I mean, they're adjusting as well as can be expected to the foster home and the placement. These girls, like I said, they have a significant amount of needs. It sounds like they've been through quite a bit in their short lives. So just anything we can do to get them in as many services as needed as quickly as possible, I think would be very beneficial.
All right, thank you. Ms. Tompkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no objection to the recommendations. I would ask the worker to again reach out to Mr. Betts and try to engage him. I was able to contact him and he responded to me on the number on the petition. So they do have his contact information, and I would ask them just to continue to do that so they can offer him services and engage him in a plan. Thank you.
Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I think that this case is in the early stages. I do believe that the girls are being cared for appropriately right now, and that the recommendations are appropriate, with the exception of the placement. I know it is typical and preferable to place children with relatives. My client's sister had the children in Kalamazoo. In fact, is the person referred to in a paragraph in the petition that took the girls to the Kalamazoo Family Health Center to have them evaluated. They gave us some insight into their needs. She's capable of caring for the children, had everything set up at home, beds for the children, clothing, had them enrolled in school. They were removed. My understanding is that they were removed because my client had a prior central registry placement, which has since been expunged. So I want to make sure that the agency takes a look not only at Miss Betts's family for potential placement, but also Mr. Betts's family for potential placement, as that is preferable in these cases. The only other thing I would ask, Your Honor, is the court did inquire as to Native American heritage. I know that we addressed it at the prelim. I think that I recall both, or at least my client indicated that there was no Native American heritage, but I'm looking at the case service plan now, which lists tribal affiliation. So I'd ask the agency to confirm there's no Native American heritage and correct that if that's the case. Otherwise, Your Honor, I have no further comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The court finds that the lawyer guardian ad litem has complied with the requirements of the statute on the condition that Ms. Dubas actually physically see the children in the next, say, 14 days. Clearly, we don't want to expose them to the flu, so that I'll find that's good cause for not having physically seen them at this time. That consistent with the circumstances, reasonable efforts to prevent or eliminate the need for removal were made as determined as in a prior order. that reasonable effort shall be made to preserve and reunify the family, make it possible for the children to safely return home. That custody of the children with the parent, either parent at this time, presents a substantial risk of harm to the children's life, physical health, or mental well-being based on the evidence presented today. The court orders that the children be placed in the temporary custody of the court and placed with the Department for Care and Supervision. That the adjudicated respondents, Mr. and Ms. Betts, comply with and benefit from the case service plan. In addition, parents are to sign any necessary releases. That Ms. Betts submit to a psychological evaluation as soon as possible. That parenting time of both parents is at the discretion of the agency to permit unsupervised or supervised parenting time. And the court will now advise also that the agency confirm whether or not there's Native American heritage in this case. It sounds like there's some indication that there may be, and we need this to confirm whether there is or not. And the court will advise the respondents, both of you, that you have the following rights. At any time while the court retains jurisdiction over these children, you may challenge the continuing exercise of that jurisdiction by filing a motion for rehearing under MCL 712A.21 or MCR 3.992, or by filing an application for leave to appeal with the Michigan Court of Appeals. Appellate review is available to challenge both an initial order of disposition, such as we're doing today, and any order removing the child from a parent's care and custody. That an indigent respondent is entitled to the appointment of an attorney to represent the respondent on any appeal as of right and for payment of the transcripts. The respondent may be barred from challenging the assumption of jurisdiction or the removal of a minor from parent's care and custody and an appeal from the order terminating parental rights if they do not timely appeal under MCR 3.993A, sub 1, 3.993A2, or delayed appeal under MCR 3.993C. Continue the attorneys in this matter. And Ms. Gibson, do we have a date for our next review hearing?
Yes, March 27 from 10 to 11.
Any conflicts with that date or time?
No, you're not.
No, that's fine. That'll be via Zoom. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm good also. Thank you, Anna.
Ms. Dubus, did you say that date was fine?
Yes, that works for me.
Okay. Okay. All right. We will see you then. And I would just ask both of you, Mr. Betts, that you speak with Ms. Magnuson when she contacts you, and that you do comply with what she asks once those needs are identified, so that we can move this case along and hopefully reunify these children with you. Same thing, Ms. Betts. If you have a question about something that Ms. Magnuson refers you to, Mr. Adams, I'm sure, is willing to talk to you pretty much at any time to give you advice. But you need to comply with these services. That's the quickest route to getting your children back, and specifically treatment regarding the alcohol. That's a big one for you. So, all right. Anything further?
No, nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Present in the virtual courtroom, we have Mother Tasha Betts. We have her attorney, Mr. Adams. We have Father's attorney, Katie Tompkins, Children's attorney, Ms. Dubus, and various agency workers. And we're here today for a dispositional review. Ms. Dubus.
Thank you. I do have a few exhibits to enter before we get started. Exhibit 1 is the case service plan with attached parent agency treatment plan with a report date of March 19, 2025. Exhibit 2 is a IEP team report for CB. Exhibit 3 is the psychological assessment for Mrs. Betts. Exhibit 4 is a Core Will Health after visit summary for AB, and Exhibit 5 is a progress report for AB.
Any objection?
No objection.
No objection.
All right, they're admitted.
Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to call Michelle Magnuson, please.
All right, Ms. Dubus.
Thank you. Ms. Magnuson, can you please give us an update regarding Ms. Beth's progress over this past report period?
For Miss Betts, excuse me. She has originally started living in Grand Rapids and then had moved down to Kalamazoo, to where we were trying to find services for her in regards for therapy and substance use. And once therapy was actually found for her, the therapist had called her and she had declined the therapy, stating that she was moving back up to Grand Rapids. So a referral has been made for Ms. Betts through Arbor Circle. That is for therapy and substance use disorder. And what in regards for the substance use, she is an alcoholic. And the reason why we know this, every time that she has come to parenting time, we give her a breathalyzer. And she has not had a negative breathalyzer since parenting time. And every time that she has blown, it's been over the legal limit. So obviously these parenting times are supervised at the agency at any time that we feel that the children are in danger or in harm, then we would end the visitation. But there has not been any issues while Miss Betts has been visiting her children. So it has been difficult to find services for her, just because of her moving back and forth from Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo. She has completed her psychological evaluation, and that has primarily no diagnosis, just that she needs therapy, just with PTSD, depression, anxiety. And that is why she was referred to Arbor Circle, because they can help with those emotions and issues, and also with the substance use treatment. And now I talked to Miss Betts. It was last week. She told me she spoke to her therapist through Arbor Circle and that she was going into detox in April for 3 to 5 days, but that has not been verified yet through Arbor Circle. I'm waiting to hear back in regards to that.
Okay. And has a substance abuse assessment been done, or do you not find that to be necessary at this point?
I mean, we know that there is an issue, so an assessment, and then I'm sure that's what Arbor Circle is doing, is the assessment on her. That is what I'm waiting to hear back from Arbor Circle.
Okay. And does she have appropriate housing?
She does not. She is currently in a house that she said she's going to be moving within shortly. When I went to go pick her up for a visit, I was not allowed inside the home. It was just a temporary living place. But movement or a change of location has not been discussed or informed to me.
Okay. Does she have employment?
She does not. Not at this time. When I spoke to her Tuesday, so a couple of days ago at her visit, she said she had gotten a job, but yet there has been no verifications on that yet.
Okay. And have there been any referrals made for any parenting classes or anything to address parenting skills?
At this time, there has not been a referral. The reason for it was when our classes started through the agency, because we do have parenting after trauma classes available, and they're not online. You have to be in person. So she was originally, like I said, in Grand Rapids, then went to Kalamazoo, and then came back to Grand Rapids. When she came back to Grand Rapids, the class had already started, and so I'm waiting for the next class begin date, because it's usually like a 10-week session. So she's missed a good portion of it.
Okay. So once that class is available again, then you will make the referral for that?
Yes.
Okay. So is it fair to say the only services she's involved in right now is Arbor Circle to address individual therapy and substance use?
Correct.
And if she continues to blow positive before her visits, do you intend to let her continue to exercise parenting time even though she's under the influence?
It is used at our discretion to see if there is, if the children are endangered. And this is something that will be talked to with Arbor Circle on what the recommendations would be if we felt like if her children were endangered during that time, or we seeing behaviors that are not appropriate, the visitations would end immediately during that time, and we would review. I would review with my supervisor and go from there on what discretionary measures we would need to have.
Okay. Does she attend all her parenting times?
She has not. Some of it, I don't have the exact number, but she has probably attended at least half. I'd probably say 6 out of 12. I could be wrong on that, so please don't use that against me. Some reasons for it was not being able to get transportation from Kalamazoo up to Grand Rapids, either by missing the bus. And we do help her pay for busing to get back home as well. And some of it has been weather issues, and some she has been sick. But it's it's been inconsistent, but yeah, there isn't a but. She's not attended all of her visits.
Okay. And I understand the children have quite a bit of medical and therapy appointments. Does she have the opportunity to attend those?
Yes, she does.
Does she attend those?
She has attended one. It was a dental appointment for AB. I brought her there, and so she was able to attend that. So whenever the appointments are or anything in particular, if she wants to attend, she is able to attend.
Okay. And how does she do during parenting time? Does she interact with the children?
She has some engagement. The youngest, AB, is autistic. So a lot of times she's given a phone or a tablet to play with because that is what AB enjoys, and it keeps her content. There is some engagement with CB, but not necessarily, as I would say, of like engaging, of playing together, more or less sitting and observing, talking of what she's doing, goofing around sometimes too, because that's how they are, that they do joke a lot with each other. So there is some engagement.
Okay. And what about the father? Have you had any contact with him this report period?
I have just recently had contact with him earlier this week. Throughout the reporting period, I've not had any contact with him whatsoever. Multiple attempts have been made to call him, text, mail, anything we could. So this week, he did reach out through his lawyer. I was able to speak with Mr. Betts this week. We had intake meetings scheduled. I went out to his residence and where he was, and he did not tell me which apartment number it was. So I tried calling him, and he did not respond. I waited for him for at least 15, 20 minutes, no response back. And then, so that was canceled. But later on that evening, he had contacted me. It was a text message like at 11 o'clock at night. So I spoke to him the next morning, and he's like, because he does work third shift. He goes, I apologize for missing your phone call. He goes, I was sleeping. He goes, but I would like to talk with you and talk about the parenting plan. So I do have an intake meeting scheduled with him for tomorrow.
Okay. So short of the communication this week, he's had essentially no involvement, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And can you give us an update regarding the children in this case?
Well, I'll go with each of them individually because they do have multiple services that they are needing. And it started out even just with initial well child checkup for CB. It was determined, she has fetal alcohol syndrome. She was a mild protein calorie malnutrition, speech delay. Her BMI was less than 1%. That well child was on 1121. Her initial dental was on 1114. She needs at least 7 extractions due to rotting or tooth decay. And she'll need sealants for about on 4 of her teeth. So dental is really bad. She also has OT and speech therapy. She also sees a therapist at school. She also has a neuropsychological referral. She has therapy in home with Intiva with a behavior specialist. There's a genetics testing that is scheduled for June of 2025. She also has an IEP for speech and reading. CB is 10 years old. 10? Or did she just turn 11? I apologize. I think she's 10. But her school level on where she is at is about kindergarten level. So she's really far behind on school. Other than that, with those services that are in place, she is a funny kid, full of energy. She's involved in gymnastics. She's just full of energy. And caregivers have been working with her in regards for her IEP with sight words. During home visits, they have almost every single thing labeled in their home, so she can recognize if it's a chair, a table, and understand sight words, and to understand this is a chair. Oh, this is what chair looks like spelled out. Table, so those are things that the caregivers have been doing for her. She seems to be adjusting well. She is currently attending school, like I said, with the IEP, and she's doing well there. She thrives and loves going to school every single day. As for AB, her initial well child was on 1121. It was notated that she had severe protein calorie malnutrition. She's autistic. She deals with constipation. She's also has fetal alcohol syndrome. She has a speech delay. She has self-injurious behavior, and her BMI was less than 1%. Her initial dental was on 1114. There's 3 extractions that need to be done. This was the dental appointment that to have those extractions done, I took Miss Betts to, and due to AB with her weight, and they wanted to make sure, the anesthesiologist wanted to make sure that she was okay to be lightly sedated while this was going to be, while the procedure was going to be done. Anesthesiologist had a lot of concerns and wanted further testing done before the extractions could take place. Due to her autism, it'd be hard to get an updated x-ray of her mouth because she wouldn't sit still. So AB was referred to Helen DeVos to have the dental procedure done. However, at Helen DeVos, they have almost a 1-year waiting period in order to have this done. And again, she needs at least 3 teeth extracted due to decay and the cavities. AB is also receiving OT and PT for the PT is for her pelvic floor. She has speech therapy. She had a neurology appointment of the EEG to see if she has any seizures. She has very mild seizures. It's not epilepsy, but she will be having an MRI completed within the next couple of weeks. And there's also genetics testing for her as well in June of 2025. Now, AB is attending Edgerton Trails School. She does have an IEP in regards to the autism, and she's actually starting to really thrive at school. She's starting to, for a while she was nonverbal, but she is starting to say some words and being able to identify some things and following small rules. There was She had a very good accomplishment the other week at school. She actually came and sat down and joined group with the other children, which had been very hard for her in regards for her autism. So both children are on nutritional supplement for Pediasure to help them gain weight because they were malnourished when they came into care. And they are slowly gaining weight, but there are still concerns. That's why there's more testing and doctor appointments, and they're going to be following up with that continuously to make sure that they are gaining weight.
Okay. In regards to AB and the 1 year wait for the dental, are there any other options that can be explored? Could she go to a different hospital, or is there anything we can do so she doesn't have to wait a year?
We can explore other options. Typically, Helen DeVos is the one that takes care of those procedures, especially when, there are other medical factors that could be involved. And honestly, there's no other children's hospital here in Grand Rapids. The procedure was originally going to be being done at Mitten Dentistry here in Grand Rapids, but because of all the other medical issues and possible measures that may be taken, the anesthesiologist thought it would be best for her to go to Helen DeVos. So I'm a little bit at my wit's end on how we can push that forward so she can have this done, because obviously don't want her to wait, but I will look into resources to see what is available or what can be done.
Okay. And it's my understanding that children are on a Medicaid health plan, correct?
Correct.
And they have significant needs and therapies that are going to continue in the unforeseen future, correct?
Correct.
And is it your understanding as well that that policy has limitations on it as far as the amount of visits that will be covered and how long they can continue in these therapies?
Typically on it depends on what Medicaid plans that they have. Each Medicaid plan, not just a straight Medicaid, such as there's McLaren, Blue Cross Complete, Priority Health, Medicaid, they all have different eligibility, not eligibility, but different amounts of what they would cover for. And I really do not know which one would, quote, be the best for them. But right now, the plan that they are on for the Medicaid, it does need to be updated just so they can be able to see the proper doctors and professionals that they need. And because not all doctors and professionals will take specific Medicaid plans.
Okay, so is that plan going to be updated then?
Yes,
Okay.
or at least
And
try to. The only thing sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The
No.
only thing with the insurance is you cannot change the plan until it is time for renewal, which I think one of them is in April and the other one is in May, or it could be May or June. They're both a month apart.
Okay. And is that going to cause any lapse in services for the children?
No.
Okay. And what are your recommendations at this time?
It is respectfully recommended that A, B, and CB remain temporary wards of the court. It is respectfully recommended that the goal remains as reunification. It is respectfully recommended that A, B, and CB remain in their current foster home placement. It is respectfully recommended that Ms. Tasha Betts and Mr. Ronald Betts work through PATP with the agency. It is respectfully recommended that the parents' visits are supervised or unsupervised at the agency's discretion, and it is respectfully recommended that this case be reviewed in 90 days.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Adams.
My mouse wouldn't work for me. Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Magnuson.
Good morning.
I represent Ms. Betts and just have a few questions for you. So, you indicated has been some, a bit of, complications, getting services in place due to Miss Betts, moving back and forth, to and from Kalamazoo. But, when did she first move to, Kalamazoo? Do you recall?
I do not recall the exact date. When the case first started, Miss Betts was here in Grand Rapids, and I would say I don't know. I honestly do not recall. I don't want to even say if it's a couple weeks, a month. I do not recall on that.
Okay. Now we had an adjudication, disposition hearing in early January. Was she living in Kalamazoo then or in Grand Rapids?
In Kalamazoo.
And after that time, do you recall when she moved back to, when she moved?
When she moved back to Grand Rapids was about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. And you indicated there was difficulty getting services in place because of the fact that she was in Kalamazoo.
Correct.
Right now, she has had a psychological evaluation. And have you been able to meet with her and go over that psych evaluation with her?
I have not.
When do you plan to do that?
I will plan to do so as soon as possible. If it's not, with today being Thursday, I was hoping to meet with her next week.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to read that report?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And so you're prepared to discuss the findings in that report and suggest some ways in which you can help her to address issues that might have been raised in the report?
Yes.
Now, you said that she told you she's working, but you don't have a job verification from her yet?
She had just informed me this past Tuesday, prior to her parenting time visit, that she had just gotten a job.
Did she tell you where?
Yes, but I do not recall. I know it's at a hotel.
Okay, and you're gonna just need a pay stub of some sort to verify that she's employed? Is that what you need from her?
Correct.
Okay, and she understands that?
Yes.
Housing, she is doesn't have her own house. Is she in a safe place right now? Do you know?
I cannot confirm that. Like I said, I did pick her up for a visit from the home where she was at, but I only met her at the front door. There's not been a home visit allowed. Because
Okay, when you say not allowed, who's not allowing the home visit? The owner of the home or Miss Betts?
it's hard to determine on who. I was probably the owner of the home, which is more of an assumption. But I know it's not Miss Betts' home.
Okay. And what does Miss Betts tell you about her future plans for housing?
That her and her boyfriend that she's in a relationship with at the moment, that they were going to be moving shortly is their plan. And shortly was maybe in the next week or so, they're looking for a room to rent. As I said, Miss Betts just recently came back to Grand Rapids 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Regarding this boyfriend, have you spoken to Miss Betts about the fact that if she's going to be involved in a relationship, that that significant other or boyfriend would have to be evaluated as well and take part in a treatment plan with her potentially?
That part has not been talked to her in regards to it. It was news when Miss Betts had moved back to Grand Rapids. And like I said, then when I picked her up, that's when I was informed that she had a boyfriend. And there has not been talks on how serious or if she's planning on living with him or if that was the boyfriend's house, or if they're going to be moving. There was not information if he was going to be part of the parent agency treatment plan, or if if he's going to be part of this case or not.
How often are you able to meet with Miss Betts?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How often are you able to meet with her?
I can meet with her on a weekly basis.
And how often have you met with her since she got back to Grand Rapids?
I have met with her. Well, it's been about 3 weeks, so it's been on a weekly basis that one was picking her up for the parenting time, but during that time, we will chat in the car, trying to get to know a little bit more, kind of have a meeting, not a more comfortable meeting while driving her to the agency. And I had also met with her briefly prior to her last parenting time. So I met with her twice in the last 3 weeks.
Okay. Regarding, you indicated that, was it a parenting class that you wanted her to get into that she was not able to get into because it had already started and she was in Kalamazoo? What class is that?
Yes, that is correct. It is a class the agency offers. It's called Parenting After Trauma. It is a class that we always recommends for all of our parents that have their children that have come into care. It is one of the classes that is recommended for every parent to take.
Understood. Okay. That sounds like it might be important for her to have that class. And how soon do you think you can get her in that?
Well, the class has already started, and like I said, it usually runs about 8 to 10 weeks. So she probably would not be able to start the new one. I don't know when the next date is going to be, but my estimation maybe around May or June.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you can get her into to address parenting skills? Is there another class she can take besides the parenting after trauma?
She was working with a parenting coach, but due to the inconsistencies that she had with attending for parenting time, she was discharged from that program. However, now that she is in Grand Rapids and has been attending consistently, then she can be referred to our parenting time specialist, and that can also help with her parenting skills.
Okay, you're gonna make that referral to a parenting
Yes.
time specialist?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about parenting time. So you indicated that she's tested for substance use each time that she does a parenting time. Is that just for alcohol?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and what is her what are her levels looking like when she comes in? Do you have a report regarding her levels that she's blowing at when she comes in?
Yes, for each parenting time, it is in the parenting time notes that are done by the case aide. This last parenting time on Tuesday, I actually administered the breathalyzer to her, and she blew a .191.
Okay. Is it possible you can get those reports for the rest of the attorneys in this case in the
Yes.
court?
Yes.
Okay, why were they not included in this?
They were given from the agency, so they are actually in the USP for the parenting times.
Okay.
So it's not specifically written out saying this date was this percentage. This, if that's something that you want, we can do that as well.
Yeah, I looked at it at the report, and I did see some results from some of her visits, and not all of them were high, but I did see some that were concerning.
Yeah.
But given her substance use, are you having a referral to? You said that Arbor Circle is going to do an assessment, and she's going to do an inpatient there for a short time, or what?
Well, there has been a referral to Arbor Circle. They deal with dual diagnoses, so not just for the therapy side, but also for SUD, for the substance use disorder. And I am waiting to hear back from the case manager there on what their plan is for her. Obviously, an assessment. Miss Betts had notated that she was going to go to detox for 3 to 5 days in April. Now, that was all the information that I had. I do not know if it's an inpatient for 3 to 5 days. I do not know what their plan is. I'm waiting to hear back from Arbor Circle in regards for their recommendations.
Okay, and Ms. Betts is telling you that the detox treatment that she is planning on undergoing is that the same Arbor Circle
Yes,
placement that you're talking about?
yes.
Okay. In your communication with Ms. Betts, do you think she understands when you explain things to her? Do you see any indication that she is having trouble understanding what's required of her?
I'm just a little confused by that question.
Well, it's a simple question. Does she seem to understand what you're telling her she needs to get done?
Yes,
Do you have any concerns that her cognitive abilities to understand the information you're providing her, do you believe her cognitive abilities are affected in any way that prevents her from understanding you completely?
I believe that they do not interfere. I believe that she understands what I am discussing with her, and she understands on what we are talking about.
Okay, and the reason I ask is because, oftentimes a court will appoint a lawyer guardian ad litem for a client
Mhm.
when that person might need some further assistance with understanding a treatment plan, and you don't see that.
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. My one final question regards placement. And we talked about this at the last court hearing, at the dispositional portion of the last court hearing. And I know that at one time, the minor children lived with Miss Betts' sister in Kalamazoo. And that's true. Would you agree?
Correct.
And also that home, the children were removed from there and put into a foster care with place with a foster family. Is that correct?
Correct.
And did your agency ever do an evaluation of Miss Betts' sister to determine whether or not she was appropriate for placement of the girls with Miss Betts' sister?
We had an assessment scheduled, and Miss Beth's sister canceled it.
Okay, when was that?
I do not recall a specific date, but that was
Was it after the dispositional review hearing? This happened after the last court hearing?
no, it was actually during it was at the last court hearing when you had asked me that question. And I didn't have an answer for it at that time, and I reviewed the notes. So it was during those first 30 days for the girls to be placed with her. We had an assessment lined up with Miss Betts' sister, and Miss Betts' sister canceled it.
So since the dispositional review after the last hearing, okay, adjudication disposition, has any outreach been done to Miss Betts' sister for potential placement?
She has not responded for having any placement.
Who's reaching out to her? Do you know?
That would be our licensing department and our family finder.
Okay, because you do know that's a preference. If there's a family member available to place children with, the court attempts to make that possible to keep that continuity with family. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Magnuson, thank you. I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Tompkins.
Thank you, Your Honor.
In regards to Mr. Betts, Ms. Magnuson, he works third shift, correct?
Correct.
And you and I reached out to you and told him that I'd been able to speak with him and he was really interested in starting to engage and work his plan. Is that correct?
Correct.
When you have spoke with him recently, he is expressing the desire to engage, work services, and work on whatever barriers and needs he has. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so you'll continue over this report period to reach out and communicate with him and try to set up that treatment plan for him, correct?
Correct.
And then with him working third shift, services and appointments and all of that can be kind of worked around that. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Ms. Dubus. Any follow-up?
No, thank you.
Mr. Adams, any follow-up?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Any further witnesses, Ms. Dubus?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, any witnesses?
No witnesses or evidence.
All right, Ms. Tompkins?
No, thank you.
All right, statements, Ms. Dubus.
Oh, yes, Your Honor, I do think the recommendations are appropriate. I did have the opportunity to meet with the girls and the foster parents. They're doing extremely well in the home. They're extremely bonded to their caregivers. I was able to see in the home as well that they do have those sight words labeled throughout the house, and there's plenty of different learning activities for the children. So they are definitely making progress in that area. Both girls do enjoy school. CB, she is a very happy, energetic girl. She loves to go to school. AB as well. She was completely nonverbal when she came into care, and now she is saying a few words. So that's very encouraging. So they're doing well. They do have a significant amount of needs, a significant amount of weekly appointments. I commend the caregivers for being able to manage all that because it definitely is a lot. I do want to make sure that as far as the insurance goes, that gets stayed on top of so that they don't miss anything that they need, because from what I understand, the plan that they're on is limited in regards to the amount of visits they can have with the OT therapy, the speech, and the feeding, and those are all really important. So I just want to make sure that we do stay on top of getting that plan switched so that they can continue to have those needs met. And lastly, I mean, I do have some concerns with the visits. I understand that they are supervised, so I guess there's not an immediate safety concern for the children, but if every single visit Miss Betts continues to come to under the influence, and some of these levels are pretty high, I just don't see how there can be appropriate interaction with the children or meaningful interaction if she's under the influence. So, I do think maybe it would be appropriate to consider that she can, proceed with the visit if she's sober. I don't know that it's appropriate to have the girls subjected to her being under the influence. So other than that, I do think the recommendations are appropriate and would ask that the court follow them.
All right, thank you. Mr. Adams.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I think the recommendations are appropriate. This is an early review of this case, the first review after the adjudication disposition hearing. So there's work to be done. Hopefully we can get some services in place. It doesn't seem like a lot's been done yet, and that the worker suggests that it's because Ms. Betts was not living in Grand Rapids and it caused some difficulties in getting services in place. I understand that. But now that she's back in Grand Rapids, I think we need to get some services in place right away and get her in a place where she can begin to get some help that she needs. Certainly, Your Honor, the children are doing well in their placement, and I really thank the foster parents for that. And so at this point, I think it's sort of would be detrimental to move them from where they're at. Even if the sister in Kalamazoo could take the children, it would cause some more logistical issues with visits for my client since she's back in Grand Rapids now. So I'll save that for another day. But I do want the worker to get with her, go for a psych eval with her, make sure she understands what she needs. I do have some concerns for Miss Betts's cognitive abilities and her ability to understand what is expected of her. But I'll monitor that and get back with the court if I feel like I need to ask that an LGAL be appointed for her. So I'd ask that the court adopt the recommendation today. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Tompkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no objection to the recommendation. I have recently, my client has started to engage and communicate better with me, and I will thank the worker because when I reached out to her and said, and asked her to reach out to my client, that was immediately done. And I am hoping that the agency can kind of help work around his schedule. He does work long, hard third shifts. And so that is something I'm hoping that can be accommodated in his parent agency treatment plan. With that said, I have no objection to the recommendation. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The court finds that the lawyer guardian ad litem has complied with the requirements of the statute, that returning either of these children home today would cause a substantial risk of harm to their life, physical health, or mental well-being, that reasonable efforts have been made to preserve and reunify the family, make it possible for the children to safely return home, that in accordance with the statute, progress towards alleviating or mitigating the conditions that cause these children to be placed or remain in temporary foster care has not been made by either parent, that the children's continued placement is necessary and appropriate, is meeting the children's needs. I would also like to add my thanks to the foster parents. This is a huge lift for you, and I really appreciate the efforts that you're making with these children. That the needs of each of these children can be met in a foster family home. That the siblings are in joint placement. The court orders that the children continue in the protective and temporary custody of the court, continue their placement with the Department for Care and Supervision. That the adjudicated respondents, Mr. and Ms. Betts, comply with and benefit from their case service plans, parents to sign all necessary releases. And then I just saw from our last order that the agency was to confirm the lack of Native American eligibility, and I don't think we covered that. So if it's okay, Ms. Dubas, I'll just ask Ms. Magnuson that question.
Yes.
Ms. Magnuson, were you able to confirm whether or not there's any Native American eligibility?
Yes, I was able to confirm, and they are not affiliated with any tribal. I have not worked in SACWIS to remove that. So I'll be calling the help desk and make sure that gets removed. But it has been verified through ICWA that they are not affiliated.
Okay, Ms. Dubas, any follow-up questions?
No, thank you.
Mr. Adams?
No, thank you.
Ms. Tompkins?
Oh, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. So I will remove that from the order this time. That parenting time of both parents is at the discretion of the agency. Continue the attorneys in this matter. I will indicate, Mr. Adams, if you feel at any time that you believe that it would be in Ms. Betts' best interest to have a GAL, just notify my office and we will immediately appoint one. And Ms. Gibson, do you have a date for our next review hearing?
Yes, Your Honor, June 18 from 9:30 to 10:30.
Any conflicts with that date or time?
None for me, Your Honor.
That works for me.
That works for me as well.
All right. And does anyone object if the court appoints a CASA?
No objection.
No objection.
I think with these children's significant needs, every adult that we can have involved is probably a good idea. So I will appoint a CASA for both of these children. Anything further?
Nothing
Oh,
further.
thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Present in the virtual courtroom, we have mother's attorney, Michael Adams. We have father's attorney, Katie Tompkins. We have the children's attorney, Ms. Dubas, foster parents, CASA, and various agency workers. Ms. Dubas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have a exhibit to enter. It would be the case service plan with the attached parent agency treatment plan with a report date of 5/27/2025.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right, they're admitted.
Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to call Michelle Magnuson.
All right.
Thank you. Ms. Magnuson, can you give us an update regarding the children?
Yes, CB and AB are up to date on their medical. The dental has been put on hold for the continuing care due to the procedures that are needed to be done, would have to be done at Helen DeBoss, and there is a wait list for that. Because they do need to be sedated. And a lot of it also has to do with AB with her autism and just other health information or issues that have been going on. Both girls roughly have a BMI about 13%-ish. That puts them in about the 1% percentile for the chart that they do. So very low BMI. For AB, she has services of ABA therapy along with food therapy. She's an OT and PT. She also has an IEP through school, has been doing well in school, able to start communicating with sign language. She's putting together 2-word sentences, and she's coming, excuse me, she's been doing very well with the caregivers. For CB, she's just recently been diagnosed with autism. So they are looking into ABA therapies for her as well. Both girls for their ABA therapies would be through Intiva. So that is being put in place. CB has an IEP. She did well in school with the consistency and continuation of that. They have summer camps lined up for the summer for them. So that there's also that continuing education with the therapies that are in place. And there's been a CASA worker that has been assigned to them as well.
Okay.
Yep, and that will be starting this week.
Okay. And CB, she's recently attended a camp as well, correct?
That is correct.
And that went well for her. Is that your understanding?
Yes,
Okay. And I know their BMI is low, but over this report period, AB's gained some weight, correct?
that is correct. Not much, but she has gained a little weight.
Okay. And the caregivers are working closely with the food therapy and the doctors in regards to that, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So they're doing everything that they can do at this point, according to what the medical professionals are suggesting.
That is correct.
Okay. And AB's, her therapy, that's in the home, is my understanding?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And she's approved for roughly 30 hours a week?
I believe so.
Okay. And now that CB has the autism diagnosis, you're in the process of trying to get the therapy in place for her too. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. I will be meeting with the caregivers this Friday to verify on the status on that.
Okay. Do you have any idea what the timeline is for that to actually begin?
I do not.
Okay.
But I would believe that it would be soon.
Okay. And when AB first came into care, she was completely nonverbal, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And now she's putting together, like you said, I believe 2-word sentences, and she's saying some individual words as well, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So fair to say she's progressing rather well then.
Yes.
Okay. And then other than what you've already talked about, are there any other services that we need to get in place for these children right now?
Not that I am aware of. The caregivers have been doing a tremendous job in making sure that the girls are getting what they need. There will be a genetics testing. I believe that will be for AB. That's coming up in August.
Okay. And what's in place right now regarding therapies, medical appointments and such? It's, I guess, for lack of a better word, a rather overwhelming amount of stuff, correct?
Correct.
Okay. But it seems to be that it's all being managed and they're attending everything. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay. And can you give us an update on the mother?
For Miss Betts, she had been attending a couple times at Arbor Circle for therapy, and they're trying to work with her for integrated medicine in regards to her alcoholism. She was in detox for 5 days, and that had helped during a couple visits where she had blown 0 on the breathalyzer for the parenting time. Other than that, she has recently been inconsistent with her visiting times or parenting times of not showing up, having other excuses for not coming. But when she has attended the parenting times, she has blown rather high. It could range from a 0.16 to 0.26. So during those supervised visits, we are very much watching those visits closely to see on how she interacts with the girls, if we need to cancel the appointment or the visit during the time or not. That is a situation whereas, it's getting to a point where we're unable to figure out her parenting skills without her being intoxicated. She also has other issues of housing. She has been bouncing around from home to home, with nothing consistent. She has told me she has, employment through Wingstop, but has not given any verifications on that employment. I do not know if that's still consistent, if she is still even having the, employment going on. Therefore, income is another issue as well. And I know, just kind of circling back around to Arbor Circle, they're putting together a plan for her, because she has not been attending that consistently either. And she's been hard to get a hold of, been having difficulties with her cell phone, is what she said, that her cell phone's been messing up. That's what communication problems. So I've just had the response from her therapist from Arbor Circle of, she has only attended it a couple times.
A couple times over how many months?
That I do not recall. I
Okay.
would probably say since the last reporting period. So
Okay.
I would say between 2 to 3 months.
And is it accurate to say throughout the history of this case, she's only had roughly two clean blows before her parenting times throughout the history of this case?
I would say throughout the history, there has been maybe 1 or 2 other times that she has blown 0.
So I guess essentially then almost every single parenting time she's coming to, she's intoxicated, correct?
That is correct.
And it's between the levels of 0.16 and 2 above. It's not anything usually lower than that.
Correct.
Okay. And it's my understanding that recently there was a visit where she blew extremely high and the agency almost had to end that visit. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
So given the severity of her substance abuse, do you think it's in the best interest of these children for them to continue to have parenting time while she's intoxicated?
No.
So in your opinion at this point, do you think it would be more appropriate that in order for her to exercise the parenting time, she needs to have a clean blow?
I agree. Yes.
Okay. Has the possibility of inpatient been discussed with her?
I think that is what Arbor Circle is putting together. I have spoken to her a couple times about going, to inpatient would help her. And she's like, well, I did the detox. Oh, that's fine, a detox, but this has been consistent. I have sat down with Ms. Betts. I had a chart in front of me to show her the weight of a person compared to how many drinks and what would be, for a breathalyzer, for how long it would take to get out of the body. Because there was a parenting time where she had blown high and she had told me she had a beer at 8 o'clock that morning. And I told her, I said, I can smell the alcohol on you. I know that it wasn't just 8 o'clock. And she didn't seem to comprehend the chart that I was trying to show her. And I tried to walk her through it, saying, if you're telling me you had a beer at this time, which was more than 6 hours ago, you should not be blowing anything. You should be blowing a 0, but you are blowing a 0.2 or whatever it may be at that time. So in order to have that high of a blood alcohol level on the chart that I showed her, this is how many drinks or how long ago that she would have drank. And she's like, no, I didn't have anything since this morning.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay, so you're able to physically even smell alcohol on her at parenting times? That
is correct.
Which I would assume then the children likely are too as well. They may not understand, but.
Correct.
Okay, so it really, I understand she went to the detox and had a clean blow or two after that, but then historically, she's continued to blow dirty since that time as well, correct?
Correct.
So really, there hasn't been any progress made with the substance abuse?
Correct.
Okay. And with the Arbor Circle, what is the delay in getting a plan in place and moving forward with it? Is it just her lack of participation?
Yes.
Okay. And other than Arbor Circle and the screens before visits, is there anything else in place related to substance abuse, or can there not really be referrals until she works with Arbor Circle?
Arbor Circle covers therapy and also substance use. So
Okay.
they're kind of a 2-in-1 referral.
Okay. And during visits or in your communications with her, does she ever ask about the children's therapies or the progress they're making or what they're working on?
No,
Okay. Is she given any of that information?
she is.
Okay. And is a reasonable expectation that she should be trying to facilitate some of those skills they're learning in therapy or some of those ideas during her parenting time?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess what I mean by that is, from what I understand, AB is becoming more able to engage with people and activities. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
And during parenting time, isn't the normal process that AB is just on a tablet and kind of left to do that?
Correct. Mom just hands her off to the tablet.
And there's not really any engagement,
Correct.
but there could be, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Anything else related to Ms. Betts that you think the court should know?
Nope, not at this time.
Okay. And what about the father? Has there been any communication there?
Communication has been minimal. There's finally intake completed with him in April. So, the very first 6 months of this, he had been MIA, missing in action, and not responding to our phone calls. So intake initially started in April. And he is working third shift. I do not have any verifications on that. But the other areas that he would need help in is with housing. Would like to do a psychological evaluation with him. Since contact has been minimal with him, he has my contact information. I had not heard from him during the month of May. We have been trying to schedule parenting times for him, with him working third shift. His only availability was either during Ms. Betts' visiting time, or while the girls were in school, or their other services. So we're trying to get staff together to see what would work out to be beneficial. We recently were able to get a schedule set up. His first parenting time is next week. And I have reached out to Mr. Betts in regards to that, and I have not had a response back from him.
So Mr. Betts has had no involvement in this case for the first 6 months, correct?
That is correct.
And then he does it intake in April and has no communication for May. And now come June, he's set up to have a visit. Accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay, so prior to this case coming into care, do you know when the last time is he even had contact with his children?
I do not know.
But we know it's been longer than 6 months at the very least.
That is correct.
Okay, so since his intake, he's done virtually nothing, not even communicate with you, correct?
Correct.
So do you think that it would be more appropriate that he is required to, for 30 days, engage with services, or at least engage with the agency, before we just go throw him into parenting time and have these children subjected to that?
I would like him to engage with the therapies and with the agency. I do know that they have always wanted to get parenting time in place. And I am open to either way. I would feel more comfortable with having more contact with him showing more interest. I have hesitations about the parenting time, since the kids have not seen them since this case has started back in November. I don't know what or how the kids will behave, or the aftermath, so to speak, if there would be any sort of behaviors after the visit. Mr. Betts has really not participated in anything, and there's really not much known of him.
Okay. And given his lack of engagement over the past 6 going on 7 months, I mean, I have concern that he'll continue to engage. Does that concern you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so is it, I guess, alarming that we're looking at the possibility of having these kids do this visit with their father who they haven't seen in months, and then who knows if he's going to even show up again after that one visit?
Correct.
So then we would be putting them through trauma for, I guess, no reason, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And since the parenting time has been scheduled, are you going to expect him to have some kind of confirmation before the kids are just brought to the parenting time, him confirm he's actually going to attend?
Yes, I do that with all of our new parents. Even with Miss Betts to this day, I still reach out to them prior, usually in the morning, or since Mr. Betts is working third shift, I would contact him the day before for confirmation. I will also keep in contact with him kind of throughout the day and, saying, I need to have confirmation, knowing that you are coming by this specific time. If I do not hear from you, then the visit will be canceled.
Okay. And since he has communicated with you regarding the visit, has he indicated any desire to begin working services?
I'm sorry, the camera froze up when you were asking the question.
Okay, I'm sorry. Since he's communicated with you to schedule this visit coming up, has he indicated to you that he's willing to begin working services?
I have communicated with Mr. Betts through text message stating when we have the first parenting time scheduled, and there has been no response.
Okay. And anything further regarding Mr. Betts that you think the court needs to be aware of?
Not at this time.
Okay. And what are your recommendations at this time?
It is respectfully recommended that AB and CB remain temporary wards of the court. It is respectfully recommended that the goal remains for reunification. It is respectfully recommended that AB and CB remain in their current foster home placement. It is respectfully recommended that Ms. Betts and Mr. Betts work on their PATP with the agency. It is respectfully recommended the parents' visits are supervised or unsupervised at the agency's discretion. It is respectfully recommended for Ms. Betts prior to visits that she needs to blow a 0 in order to proceed with her parenting visit for that day. And it is respectfully recommended that this case be reviewed in 90 days.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Ms. Tompkins. I'm sorry, Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Magnuson.
Good morning.
So, Ms. Magnuson, at the last hearing, I know that we had a psych eval that was completed for my client, and you indicate you were able to go over that with her?
Yes,
Okay. And since the last hearing, she has moved back to this area, Kent County. Is that true?
that is correct.
And how many visits do you recall has she been offered since she's been back in this area?
She has had visits every Tuesday from 4 to 5 since, her visits has not changed. So for the whole reporting period, so at least 4 to 5, depending on the length of the month. So at least 12 visits minimum.
Okay. And during those visits, you indicate that she's coming intoxicated most of the time?
Correct.
And so right before the visit, you conduct a breathalyzer test?
Yes, we do.
And are those results recorded somewhere, or do you maintain a
Yes.
record of those?
We do, they are recorded they are in our updated service plan. So for every parental visit, it is recorded and notated in the parenting time notes.
Okay. And so were those notes provided to the court today?
Yes, they were in the updated service plan.
Okay. You believe all the tests that have been conducted are a part of that document?
Yes.
Okay. You indicate that Miss Betts was in an inpatient of some sort for about 5 days?
It was for a detox for 5 days. It is an assumption that it was an inpatient. I do not know the exact specifications for that 5 day detox. You could assume it was inpatient.
And this is something she self-reported to you?
Yes,
Did you follow up with anybody to find out
I
about
did.
that?
That was through Arbor Circle, and they had verified that she went through the detox.
Okay, but you don't know if that was an actual inpatient or what?
That is correct.
Okay, can you follow up on that, find out if that was an inpatient?
Yes,
Now, you indicate that you suggested that she, Miss Betts, take part in some sort of inpatient program. Is that true?
that is correct.
And is she resistant to that?
She, I wouldn't say resistant. In my opinion, I believe that she believes that she doesn't need to have that inpatient.
Even though she
Um,
has this obviously a severe alcohol abuse issue going on.
right. On my intake from her is that she can control it. Or
Okay,
she believes that she can control it.
okay. Um, and that doesn't sound reasonable, does it?
No, it does not.
You also indicate she has no consistent housing. What is her status right now? Is she just relying on friends, or what do you know about that?
Yes, she is relying on friends. She has probably, I have picked her up for parenting time probably at 3 or 4 different locations.
Okay.
Is
And the
it-
communication.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Communication. How are you able to contact her? You said she had a phone. Is that primarily the way you speak with her? Is by telephone?
Yes, either phone or text.
Okay. Are you at the parenting time visits that occur?
We have someone from the agency that is supervising. Um, there are times that I'm in the office and then depending on what my schedule is, I may not be in the office. But
Okay.
she is being supervised by someone by the agency during her parenting times.
And when you meet with Miss Betts, is she cooperative with you?
Yes,
The other issue was employment. You said that she indicates she has a job, but she hasn't provided you with the documentation of that employment.
that is correct.
Thank you. Finally, when the reports you get when she interacts with the girls, is there a parent-child bond?
I would say there is a minimal bond. There's really not much engagement during the parent. The agency staff that has supervised, and I will read through them, see how that they go. Again, a lot of times she will give AB either a tablet or her phone and just let AB be on her own. And there's really not much engagement there. As for CB, there's some engagement, but it's more or less of watching and not necessarily engagement.
Okay, you indicate you think there's a minimal bond, and do the girls, to your knowledge, do they seem excited when she comes to visits?
They s- they seem excited. There is once a month that their older sister would come to the visit, and they seem to be more excited to see the older sister than Ms. Betts.
Okay, I think at the last hearing I asked you about Ms. Betts' cognitive abilities, and does it still not concern you that she may not be able to understand the I guess the seriousness of her alcohol abuse?
No, it does concern me. So the next step is, I know we had the psychological evaluation for her. I don't know if we need to have some sort of testing for her cognitive abilities. It's hard to say if it's been induced by alcohol or not. That is why I would like her to go to a minimum 90-day program to be substance free. So then we can determine if there is any cognitive issues for her.
Okay. Yeah. So if the court ordered that, that would certainly be in her interest, would you think?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Magnuson. I don't have any further questions, Sean.
Ms. Tompkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. In regards to Mr. Betts, have you been reaching out to him? You said he didn't contact you at all in May. Have you been reaching out to him?
It has been very minimal of my contact of reaching out to him as well. So it's on both our ends, which in the future there's going to be more of a consistent contact with him and reaching out to him. So services can get started and he can start working on his PATP.
Okay. And so moving forward, the agency will regularly reach out to him and work to engage him and in services, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That was the only question I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dubus, any follow-up?
No, thank you.
Mr. Adams, any follow-up?
No follow-up. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Any further witnesses, Ms. Dubus?
No.
Mr. Adams?
Likewise, no additional witnesses.
Ms. Tompkins?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Statements, Ms. Dubus.
Yeah, Sharon, I do think the recommendations are appropriate at this time. I think that it's extremely important that Miss Betts blow clean before she exercises her parenting time. I think it's a terrible situation to have the girls having the parenting time when she's intoxicated, but let alone to that level of intox. There's just no reason for it. And to the point where we've had a visit now that's almost had to be stopped due to the extreme level of intoxication. This case has been going since November and we've had less than a handful of clean blows. So I don't see any reason that there would be parenting time with that level of intox for anybody. So I would be requesting at this time that she has to blow a zero before she exercises the parenting time. In addition, with the father as well, he's been non-communicative. He hasn't been involved in this case at all. So now we know since at the very least since November, he hasn't seen these children, but my assumption would be probably even longer than that until he actually shows some commitment to the case to be involved, maybe 30 days of just consistent communication or participation. I think that would be more appropriate to, at that point, then have parenting time start instead of just spring it on the children now. And then we don't even know if he's going to continue to engage after that. As far as the children are doing, I've had the opportunity to visit with them. They're doing incredible in the home of the caregivers. They're making so much progress in their services. CB was recently at a camp that she was so excited about. She had a wonderful time. So there's a couple more scheduled for the summer for the girls to attend. I think that's going to be great for them. When I was there yesterday, AB was working with her AB therapist who comes to the home. She's there roughly 30 hours a week. And just from overseeing the interactions there, I mean, she is definitely able to engage with others. So it's unfortunate that that's not happening, during the parenting times. The caregivers explained to me just the other day, she said her and the foster father, were playing a game with a water bottle and it squirted. And she said, "I got wet," which is, a 3-word sentence, but pretty amazing given the fact that when she came into care, she was completely nonverbal. So not only was she able to verbalize it, but use it in the correct context as well. And from what I understand, she's saying roughly, as far as individual words, like 10 to 15 words. So she's making progress. She's gaining weight. I think she's gained, I believe it was like 6 pounds or so. So slow progress, but it's there. I mean, there's a lot of services needed for these children. They're getting everything that they need. I don't know how the caregivers are juggling all this. When they explain the schedule to me, it sounds so overwhelming. I can't even wrap my mind around it. So they're doing an amazing job with the girls. The girls are extremely bonded to them. CB. She's a little chatty Cathy too. I mean, she's super interactive, the sweetest little girl. So overall, they're doing well, but I think that, I think what I had previously mentioned about the parenting times, it would be important to implement at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm obviously disappointed that Miss Betts continues to struggle with her alcoholism, and I think it would be prudent for an order to get her into some sort of inpatient treatment. That's the only way she's going to kick this habit. And I'm certain that she believes she can do it on her own because, she tells me that I don't have a problem and tries to explain stuff away. So I think it's truly important that she gets some assistance with that. And so I would urge an order and that she gets some assistance to get into an inpatient program. We're 7 months in, I believe, following removal, so there's still time to correct course. So today I think the recommendations are appropriate. I'm often concerned about alcoholism and how it affects mental health. But I'll hold off on requesting an LGAL until we can get hopefully Miss Betts into a detox program. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Tompkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would simply ask that the agency continue to work and regularly try to reach out to Mr. Betts and engage him in services. Beyond that, I have reached out but not had contact back from my client, so I will take no further position on the recommendations.
All right, thank you. The court finds that the lawyer guardian ad litem has met the requirements of the statute. Pardon me. That returning the children to a parent today would cause a substantial risk of harm to the children's life, physical health, or mental well-being. Reasonable efforts have been made to preserve and reunify the family, make it possible for the children to safely return home. That in accordance with the statute, progress towards alleviating or mitigating the conditions that cause these children to be removed from the home have not been made by either parent. That the children's continued placement is necessary and appropriate, is meeting each of their needs. And I add my thanks also to the foster parents. This is a full plate for both of these children, given all of their needs and their services, and just kudos to you for keeping up with that. That the needs of the children can be met in a foster family home. That the siblings are in joint placement. The court orders that the children continue as temporary wards of the court, that they continue their placement with the Department for Care and Supervision, that the adjudicated respondents, both parents in this case, comply with and benefit from the case service plan, that parents sign any necessary releases, that also that Ms. Betts enroll herself in an inpatient substance abuse program as soon as possible. The parents sign any necessary releases. The parenting time of both parents is at the discretion of the department. But I will indicate that for Ms. Betts, she is not to have parenting time if she's blowing positive at this point. These children, even more so than average children, are highly traumatized by the environment around them. They both have been diagnosed with autism, and having a parent who's under the influence of a substance clearly affects those children, and this should not be happening. As far as Mr. Betts, I'm glad there's a schedule for parenting time that's been worked out, but until he begins engaging in services and actually a plan is put together as to how these children are to be reintroduced to him, I think he should not just immediately have parenting time. I think there should be some steps taken, and I just encourage the agency to work with him, reach out to him to do that. It's not to say that the parenting time can't occur, but I don't want it to occur until there's at least a plan with him, and that he's shown interest and engagement, including a conversation about how his appearance may affect the children, and how his non-appearance, if he starts a relationship and then drops out again, might affect them. Let's see. I'll continue the attorneys in this case. And Ms. Gibson, do you have a date for a 3-month review hearing?
Yes, Your Honor, September 9 at 9:30. 9:30 to 10:30.
Any conflict with that date or time?
I am not available at that time.
Okay. We'll look and see if we can find a different date.
Is it the whole date, Ms. Tompkins?
It's just at 9:30 that I'm not
Okay.
available, actually. I have a half-hour review at that time.
Can you do 10 to 11?
Yes.
Okay.
Can the other attorneys do 10 to 11 that day?
Yes.
I'm available, Your Honor. Now, will that be a PPH?
Not yet. What'll happen is I think our PPH would be due before November 4th. So my plan would be to have a short review period after that September hearing. So just you can tell your clients that, and that next hearing will be a PPH.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right.